Hello friends, I am Dr. S.P. Mahto, Department of English, Marwari College. Today I am going to teach you a poem, Ulysses by Tennyson. This is for BA English Honours Part 2 students, SEM 4, CC9 paper. So, Alfred Tennyson was born on 6th August 1809 at Somersby Rectory in mid Lincolnshire. He began writing poetry at an early age, though though he has written many poems. In 1842, he produced two volumes of poems, which secured him, you can say, a place among the great poets of the age. Motti the author, Ulysses, Locksley Hall, and several other poems belong to this belongs to these volumes. Ulysses is a dramatic monologue composed soon after the death of his dearest friend Hallam in 1833. Ulysses is based on Homer's Odyssey and Dante's Inferno. The poem is written in blank verse, that is iambic pentameter, without any rhyme. Ulysses was a hero of Greek mythology. He was the king of Ithaca, Greece. He was a great wanderer and had met many misfortunes in the course of his long voyages. But finally, after an absence of 20 years, he reached Ithaca safely and was welcomed by his wife Penelope and son Telemachus. So now coming to the poem, uh, that is line 1 to 5. It little profits It little profits that an ideal king by this still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal laws into a savage race that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. So these are the first 5 lines of the poem, where he says that he is sick of his ideal life in the rocky islands of Ithaca. He has no charm, as he has to rule over people who are wild and barbarous. They have no high ideals in life. They merely eat, drink, sleep, and make piles of money. They cannot appreciate and understand. They cannot appreciate and understand a noble and heroic soul like Ulysses. His wife has also grown too old to share his ever youthful spirit. So we have seen this in the first paragraph. Now coming to the lines, um, that is 6 to 11. I cannot rest from travel. I'll drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy heads vexed the dim sea. So in these lines, that is 6 to 11, we see that Ulysses cannot lead a life of this kind, which is dull. He has been a fighter and traveler all his life, meeting strange people in all parts of the world and doing great deeds on the battlefields. Sorry. He compares life to a bottle of wine, just as a man drinks the very last drops of wine in the glass. In the same way, Ulysses wishes to get the joy from life by travel and adventure. He calls, he recalls he recalls his past. There were occasions in his past life when he enjoyed himself greatly, and there were times when he suffered greatly. Sometimes he had his sometimes he had his companions and followers with him. Sometimes he was alone. In all occasions, he showed a spirit of courage and adventure. He has braved the fury of the seas when the heads appeared in the sky, bringing rain, storm, and masses of clouds driven by the wind. In a word, he has often been on an angry sea, tossed by storms. In other words, Ulysses had suffered and enjoyed all his life, and for the things, even in his old age, urges him to sail in quest of knowledge. So, in the next lines, that is 11 to 17, I am become a man. I am become I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. So here Ulysses recalls his past life and deeds. All his actions show his great courage and bravery. His name has become famous, and he is known far and wide because he has wandered with a heart which is hungry for adventure, knowledge, and experience. He has increased his knowledge by observation and experience. He has seen and known cities of men, their different manners, changing climates from land to land, councils and governments of all kinds. Wherever he went, he was honored. He then recalls the war of Troy in which he fought. There he experienced the pleasant thrill of fighting with opponents who were equally brave. He fought so bravely that his opponents on the plain of Troy, where strong winds blew, as a result, his name is sung in every land. So now coming to next, I am a part of all that from lines 18 to 24. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arc where through glimpse and untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in used and through and though to breathe where life. So here we see Ulysses says that his knowledge and experience have made him what he is. He compares knowledge to an arched entrance through which a man catches a glimpse of countries. Through the arc of knowledge, he begins to travel towards them, but as he goes further and further, those lands begins to recede into distance. He feels that a life of inactivity and laziness is very dull and boring. Action should be the main motto in life. He says that if an article of iron is constantly used, it retains its brightness. But if it is not used, it rusts. Life consists in always moving ahead in action, knowledge, and observation. Now, coming to lines 24 to 33. Life piled on me were too little, and one to me little remains, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more. So, a bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 sons to stores and hoard myself. So, so here we see Ulysses says that one life after another is insufficient for gathering all experience of life and undertaking journeys to all unexplored lands. He regrets that he has only a few years in this world, but old age does not depress his soul. He wishes to make use of every hour before his death, an hour spent in profitable work means an hour saved from the hand of death. It is a bringer of new knowledge and experience. He regrets wasting 3 years in Ithaca. He realizes his mistakes. Though tired in his old age, he still prefers to acquire knowledge and pursue it beyond the horizon. And this is the poem, and this grey spirit earning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. So, for he says that he still prefers to acquire knowledge and pursue it beyond horizon of human thought. Knowledge is like a setting star which sinks in the western horizon. If the star sets in this horizon, it will rise again in another, and Ulysses desires to follow into another heaven this star of knowledge. Then going to lines 33 to 43, we see that the lines, this is my soul, this is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave the sceptre and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labour by slow prudence, to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdued them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centred in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail, in offices of tenderness and pay, meet adoration to my household gods. When I am gone, he works his work, I mine. So he talks about his son Telemachus here. Telemachus is meek and tender and well versed in the common duties of life. Telemachus um, he possesses many traits of his father. He believes that his son is fit to become a king. He will hand him over the sceptre, which is the symbol of a king's authority. He thinks that Telemachus is wise enough to discharge the duties and responsibilities of kingship. He will slowly and gradually take proper measures to civilize his subjects and direct their energies into proper action. There is irony in the words of Ulysses. He is rather dissatisfied and with his son's he is rather dissatisfied with his son's character, but anyway, he hopes to take Telemachus. He hopes that Telemachus will perform the duties of a king. Now, coming to the next lines, there lies the port, there lies the port, the vessel puffs, there lies the port, the vessels, the vessel puffs her sail, there gloom the dark broad seas, my mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, the thunder and the sunshine and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, you and I are old. Old age hath yet his honour and his toil, death closes all, but something ere the end. some work of noble note may yet be done, not be unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. So here we see that it is evening time. The port lies before him. His ship is about to sail. Ulysses thinks of his fellow sailors who were once his comrades on sea, who always cooperated with him in his bold adventures, irrespective of the weather conditions. They always remained careful. They always remained careful. Ulysses says that they also have become old with him. He believes that one can labor hard even in one's old days. One should be active throughout, and before death actually comes, some notable work should be done. Ulysses goes on to say that evening has come, the day has drawn to a close, the moon is slowly climbing in the sky, the ocean, with its mournful and sad sounds, seems to be calling him to go out in quest of adventure and knowledge. Now, coming to lines 56 to 61, that is, come, my friends, it is not too late to seek a newer world. Push off and sitting well smite, in order smite the sounding furrows for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. Ulysses has decided to undertake a voyage and explore new land. It is evening time in Ithaca, just as it is the evening time in the life of Ulysses too. Old age has not chilled their spirit of adventure. He advises the mariners to unchain the ship into the blue deep sea and sit comfortably in the ship so that they can face the fury of the roaring waves striking against the ship. As for him, sorry, as per him, he intends to cross the western horizon where the sun and other stars seem to bathe in the waters of the sea. He will go on voyaging till the last breath of his life. It may next, the last lines from 62 to 70. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great sailors whom we knew. To, though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to ill. So we find here that Ulysses doesn't find happiness in his family life. He proposes to sail beyond suns, um, and he proposes to sail beyond the sunset. He exhorts his old mariners to acquire knowledge and make use of time in this world. He says that it is possible that during their voyage they may be swallowed up, swallowed up by the deep ocean. It is also possible, on the contrary, that their voyage may take them to the happy islands where the souls of the virtuous people dwell. Though we are not as strong as we were in the past, yet we possess a firm determination to go in quest of new knowledge, to explore, sorry, and discover new lands. In the last line, the poet sums up the spirit of Ulysses as that of the scientific spirit of modern age. The poem is written in blank verse. Each line has 5 feet, each foot having 2 syllables, and the second is unstressed. Thank you.